Only thing I like better than showing off my Lamborghini is knowledge. Knowledge, folks. This is opening day. Opening night, actually, for the mystery squishy. The mystery is squishy, folks. Last game, number 103, it was Spiral. And game 104's mystery is, squishy. This was the choice of my Starbucks barista. He said it was one of his favorite words. Somehow came out, and I can't pass that up when that kind of thing happens. Someone tells me their favorite word, I can't pass it up. That's how supercalifragilisticexpialidocious was chosen as mystery. I would never have chosen that one myself. I don't think I would have dared it, or I would not have dared it in the first 100. I would have waited for certain conditions to do that, to try supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. But of course, the conversation once upon a time. Is that how it went? Well, I basically asked him for a mystery suggestion. That's what he went for. But goober, when the mystery was goober, someone told me that was their favorite word. So therefore, I couldn't pass it up. I have a little bit of formula there. So it's a bit of that going on here. This is interaction with an actual human being who loves the word squishy. Therefore, it's my mystery. And we'll see how it goes. I don't do adjectives very often. And when I do, it seems that the guesser by the name of Harley has about maybe better. He has the record of being about, I don't know, like 50% or better in pure adjectives. It's like we have a pool of 8 players, and it's been with an average pool of about 8 players, I guess. It's been about a coin flip for him, whether or not he wins when it's an adjective. So that is hence the name of the thread. Foregone conclusion guessing game right here. Foregone conclusion guessing game 104, because of course Harley is going to solve it. And I'm not so sure that's actually going to be true. One thing is that he's been one of the players who has not been around for congratulations, and he's known to drop out of sight. If he chooses this game to drop out of sight, well then of course he's not going to be the solver. But you know, using my own brain, my normal pathway to mysteries, I would have definitely stayed clear. It would have been hard to get me to choose an adjective. Now, it actually turned out the last mystery, Spiral, the scent that we were hot on, and through which we solved it ultimately, was an adjective sense of the word spiral. Spiral galaxia, you know, describing the galaxy. So, and Harley didn't get that one. Harley's actually done very well. Part of his reputation for adjectives does come from words that are not, you know, maybe not pure adjectives, but that have an element or some kind of flavor. Adjectival flavor is a word that was introduced to me through this game. Adjectival. You know, being like an adjective without quite rising to one. Uh, redneck, the mystery redneck was characterized that way. Is that true? But Harley wasn't around. Why do we care about that? Adjectival. Nonsense, I think it was, wasn't it? Was nonsense described as being adjectival in some way? That helped him get it. Um, anyways, any kind of mystery that's been in sniffing distance of an adjective, Harley has been odds on, maybe 5/9. When he burst on the scene, he won like 5 out of 9 off the bat. I think he actually was 6 out of 9. I don't want to give him short shrift. I think he was 6 out of 9 actually. And there's some other measures that when his participation level is high, he's odds on to win. When his participation level is in the top 4 out of 8 players, he rises to odds on to win. He's good when he puts his mind to it. He's good, and he's especially a danger when it's an adjective. So I would have been thinking in terms of the anti-Harley mystery. I think in terms of anti-everyone mysteries, and it's more clear. It's clearer to me how you keep Harley away from the solve than it is clear to me how to keep certain others away from the solve. So I'm thinking right off the bat, let's just not deal with adjectives because you want to keep everyone away from the solve. And the way to keep Harley away in particular is to stay clear of the adjectives. But anyways, the usual thinking has been overruled. Priest told me squishy, so it's squishy. And so, foregone conclusion that it's going to be Harley to win if he shows up. Let's see what we've got. And also, I'm also kind of like nervous about the possibility that Francis is going to be the first guesser. Francis NSA, because I award points of a kind, percentage number ones. To anyone who has the first guess, and Francis is on this streak for getting percentage number ones in umpteen consecutive games. I've kind of lost track. I better reorient myself though before she sets the record, before she's threatening the record. I don't quite want her to get it through cheapos. That's the thing. The first guesser of every game gets a cheapo percentage number one. And it would be quite exciting to me if for Francis to set the record here, but I don't want her to get cheapo after cheapo, just be laying in wait for the opening of my games. Maybe Francis is laying in wait, and that's what she's going to try to get cheapos and try to extend her record that way. Here we are, foregone conclusion, guessing game 104. Here is the first post that I show everybody. Guess my mystery, and deeper web will tell us how close you are. That's always standard. Part of speech varies from mystery to mystery. Apparently more than just adjective. Now, last time it was more than just noun, and it was also the first time that I used the form more than just when I've been using when there's been multiple parts of speech. The deal there, I guess I should go over the deal there. Well, as thoughts come to my mind. Spiral was 3 different parts of speech. Spiral was noun, adjective, and verb. And I was very nervous that if I told them as much, that the clue was noun, adjective, and verb, that they might be able to take the game. The game might become fairly solvable, easily solvable, just on the basis of that clue, because it's such a small set of words that are all three. I definitely could not have told them every single part of speech if I had a case where my mystery was noun, verb, adjective, and adverb, because there is a particular website that has made it its business, or post out there that has made it its business to know all 56 words in the language that are all four of those things. So if I had said that my mystery was these four different parts of speech, a person could find that site, could very possibly find that exact site, find that exact pool of 56 words, and then be able to solve and then from that point, if they were total idiots from that point, be able to solve the mystery in no greater than 56 guesses, which would be close to record level. And and with a brain, very extremely likely set a new record for fastest solve. So it would have been out of the question with four different parts of speech. And my feeling is that with three different parts of speech, it's starting to veer towards that same danger. I never saw a website that I was never able to find a website that has a list with the three different parts of speech at its fingertips. Though it could possibly exist. I may not have been searching for it properly. It may exist tomorrow, if it doesn't yet. And moreover, once upon a time when my mystery was repeat, the clue was that it was the three different parts of speech. And Harvely, again, with a little trace of adjective involved, Harvely was the solver of it, and he said, now what was just crazy about repeat was it is the one mystery in which I, as host, never had a clue of how a given guest was going to score. I guess it's just repeat is just so flattened of any kind of personality based on I know the many ways that it appears. Probably spend some time counseling each other. I was never able to figure out. I was never able to get a feel for what kind of word would score well with repeat. And it's the only mystery ever in which I never had a feel. But Harley solved the thing in only a little over 100 guesses. His explanation was of how he did it, like, what a miracle. I was never able to get a feel for the entire game. How in the world did you do it? And he says, when all else fails, read the instructions. And the instructions were right here, where I said part of speech was noun, verb, and adjective. So we just kind of, meditated on that, and just pulled one out of the sky for being able to think. Oh, goodness, hooray for me. I can think of something that is a noun, a verb, and an adjective. And he got it. So definitely would have been a danger. Now, so this time around, I just said more than just, so for regards to, well, what was it? We just did spiral, right? So instead of saying, I wanted to keep it a little bit muddier, um, more than just, I said more than just noun for spiral. I didn't want to say that it was all three of these things. And I thought I could possibly dodge the I might be able to, I thought I might be able to dodge what I'm not saying this right. I thought I might be able to keep them from thinking in terms of noun, verb, and adjective. Saying like, why would he do this? They're trying to think, why would he structure a clue in this way? He's never structured a clue this way before. So one thought was that because of how strange it is for me to structure a clue this way, thinking, well, maybe they'll be thinking over why is he doing this, and come to the conclusion themselves that what I meant, that the reason is that it's a noun, verb, and an adjective, and I don't want it to make it that easy for them. So, but I thought that they wouldn't necessarily go straight that direction, because very recently we played a mystery that I called Door Number 4, in which the door number 4 turned out to be an interjection. So I've been filling their heads. It's like the first time that I have filled their heads with the idea that a mystery could be something other than noun, verb, and adjective, the standard 3. And so that when it goes, and I was right. No one ever particularly seemed to latch on to, no one seemed to ever make a bet that it was all three. I think Graveflank was making a bet that it was noun and verb, seemed to be making a bet of that nature, but no one seemed to ever make a bet that it was noun, verb, and adjective. So anyways, part of speech, apparently more than just adjective. And well, we can hang around a little while longer, can't we? It's such a gorgeous game, and so many nuances. Let's lovingly approach the nuances. The apparently part is based on the fact when you deeper web, when you plug in squishy in a deeper web, the first offer of a definition, I think it's the first offer of a definition, actually comes from the Urban Dictionary rather than any standard dictionary. And the Urban Dictionary leads with a noun usage. And it was a noun usage that got, so it had the most thumbs up. The highest ratio of thumbs up to thumbs down was a noun usage. And normally you get thumbed up when people, not just because you're funny, but because you're correct. So apparently the hipsters have converted squishy into a noun under certain circumstances. So that's where apparently comes from. And yeah, the rest I will leave unsaid. You can visit the Urban Dictionary on your own. Have a guess or a probe or two. I'll show you how they did, and then you may have 2 more. I try to take care of your submissions at least twice a day. Good luck, keep the faith, and have fun. And please, now, so we're doing this backwards. We're ordering it latest first, and this means that the first guesses that we're going to see are not going to be the first guesses of the game. So we're not going to freak out immediately if we see Francis. Is there one last thing to go into? Oh yes, there certainly is. There certainly is. The big story at the end of the last game was that I revealed to the people that these games are now being broadcast on a delayed form, of course, on YouTube. And Jules and Woody have now heard my voice for the first time. And they're saying, oh, hey, well, Jules actually likes my accent. That it was good to hear my voice, and that was very nice to read. It was good to hear my voice, but I'm quite worried that if the voice doesn't match some people's earlier impression, it could, this sort of thing can lose correspondence. I know that I had a lengthy correspondence with the guy who runs Deviant Crimes. Oh Jesus, we don't want to talk this way. We don't want to go this way, I don't think. But I don't know. I shouldn't go this way. His voice threw me. Okay. We had this lengthy correspondence. Then we had a telephone call, and his voice threw me off. And oh my God. Pardon me. I guess the essence is just that, well, hi, let's go back to hiding. The essence is that it can change things. It can change perceptions. It can change them for the worse. And I certainly wouldn't want to lose guessers over this. And then beyond that, beyond the mere fact of my voice and how that might throw things, is that I present in a different way, running off at the mouth, than I do as a game show host. And I just worry that in various forms this may rub people the wrong way, and it is a worry. I don't want to lose guessers, but so far so good. So far so good. I hope to be able to count to 8. That'll be another thing to look forward to. I hope to be able to count to 8 in this mystery, and that we have everybody accounted for. Nobody runs in horror after hearing my voice and then hearing what I have to say when I'm feeling more private than usual. Okay. Who's that? Oh, that's That's Miss Markey. Miss Markey with what looks like laundry, but I guess they're what did we decide they were? Book Crossing Convention T-shirts or something like that. Not actually laundry. So Miss Markey is still with me. Yay! Now there's Frances. I hope that is not Frances because she gets the we don't want her to. She has the percentage streak on the line, where the all-time. In fact, it is. It's already the all-time longest streak of consecutive games with the percentage number 1. But what she's looking for, trying to achieve now, or what what I as a fan have decided she is trying to achieve. She may not be trying at all. Is to reach the Jules' record for most consecutive games with a overall number 1. Jules has 25 straight in overall number 1s, and Frances ought to be pushing 20 by now for consecutive games with percentage number 1. So my big drama that I've created here is that she's going to try. Frances is going to try to do in percentages what Jules has done in overall traditional overall scores. Consecutive games with a number 1. Anyways, we don't want her to advance with a cheapo. And that means that there's got to be somebody underneath Frances also guessing, so that Frances is going to be forced to keep her streak alive with something other than a cheapo. Now, there are probably cheapos of various levels, but the cheapo at this very, 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 very start of the game is the cheapest of them all. So come on, let's have somebody else be first. Excellent. This would be Greyflank. And so what's going on here? Greyflank does his story. He has an ongoing story. We're in on the latest chapter when he posts often. So here's the story he's in the middle of. Sour and sweet. And maybe we should kind of keep in mind that our mystery is squishy, and what here might resemble squishy. I think sweet. Resembles squishy quite nicely. Okay. I think soft would be. We could go like straight to soft. Sounds like I was thinking soft would be a very likely opening round guess. I think we're kind of a bunch of softies, and therefore soft could be reasonable. So if soft happened, we would be as close to the mystery as we were last game when Circle was guessed. Circle was guessed not in the first round, but by 2 rounds. We had Circle on the board. So anyways, was Greyflank first? No. Jules, Fast and Impossible. There it is. Okay, 13 hours. Jules ended up being first. And nobody makes any comments. Nobody makes any further comments on hearing my voice. There were 2 comments toward the end of last game about players hearing my voice and liking it. And so what? So now we're counting to 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and Woody. We don't see Woody here, but she was one of the people who approved of hearing my voice. So good confidence that we can count Woody and call it 5. That leaves us only 3 possibilities for alienated players. So, pretty good. Pretty good to have it down to 3 last possibilities for alienated players as of the end of the first round. Okay, so there we are. Fast and impossible. Jules gets the cheapos. And that's just fine. So here we go up to the Microsoft Excel. We're going to hold over baseball and chess in the previous game. We're going to hold over 2 guesses worth across the line from the previous game, because some of these hold these other guesses, they contain the formulas, and it means I don't have to do a bunch of formulas from scratch. Once we get this batch down and incorporate the formulas, then I'll be able to erase the first 2. So, but until then, so what were we at? Fast and impossible? I think we were. We'll find out soon enough. Fast and impossible says I'd rather Jules do the impossible, and I'd rather the team do the impossible and solve this one faster than we've ever solved before. Jules wants us to have fun, and all right, fine. Let's have fun too. But I'd love to do the impossible and set a new record for being fast. Okay. And impossible is a glossary term, a guessing glossary term, for when a guess gets more shares than the mystery has hits. And it's kind of a wank me impossible because it's been known to happen and not be all that rare. Although times may have changed. Deeper Web may have changed its way of doing things so that the impossible isn't done anymore. Gray Flank has guessed sour and sweet. Sour and sweet, says Gray Flank. Getting my bearings. Trying to find where the heck did I put my Microsoft Excel? Which tab? Sour and sweet. And it's plain enough to me. Well, now this needs a little bit of, we need some help, obviously. There you go. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to repeat the guesses in column AB. All right? And this is Gray Flank's guesses. Whoopsie daisy. Yep. Doesn't automatically autofill until you have an example to go by. Okay. Sour and sweet. And of course, sweet definitely looks like the runaway favorite to lead this batch. Sour and sweet. So fast and impossible. Sour and sweet. Inevitable, predictable. Inevitable, predictable. Which, you know, is extremely close to Foregone. It's very was that Francis? I think it was Francis. Now, did inevitable and predictable follow? Yes, it did follow in AB. Now they got the hint finally. Microsoft Excel got the hint to reproduce that in column AB. Anyways, Usually someone will play off of my headline. So Francis is playing off my headline, the use of the word foregone, and is therefore guessing inevitable and predictable. One note on sour and sweet for Greyflink. Greyflink is a foodie, and I get the impression that most of the players are foodies, and if they have the very slightest encouragement, they will guess food terms. It doesn't take much at all, and it can take a lot to, once we start guessing food terms, to knock it off. If the mystery is not actually especially related to food, we can be really slow to notice. And so, with that in mind, sour and sweet. This is not puppy. This is not the counter of puppy dog tales here, but sugar as opposed to, well, the sweetener. The comparison with sour makes it clear enough that Greyflink has food on his mind. So if sweet goes well, look for Greyflink to start guessing food rather than something that's, sugar and spice and everything nice. The everything nice part of the sugar and spice. Yes. So I don't think he's going to be that dexterous. And players usually aren't. When players have a certain intent about what they in their heads, like Greyflink has the food as an intent, they're very slow. They can be very slow to see their guess is scoring well for a different reason than they thought it would. Anyway, so look for Greyflink to follow up with food stuff. Not foodstuffs specifically, but food-related terms, and to be slow to go to the sugar and spice, everything nice form of it, or sense of the word sweet. Okay, something to watch for. So let's get back to it. Inevitable and predictable. Design and plan, says Miss Markey. Design and plan, says Miss Markey. So with sweet being the champ, probably in everything, is there any reason for it to squishy? Squishy. Sour. I'm thinking sour and sweet might be the two. Sweet, the runaway champ, but sour beyond that, which could really could stack it. Could stack it. Stack it for the foodies if sweet and sour go 1-2. I think that's what it's going to look like. But in any case, with the percentage champ bound to be decided before we get to inevitable and predictable, that's going to leave Francis out of it for this round, and it's going to become harder for her to get that to keep the streak going. All right, so drama. I'm setting up drama in all kinds of every way I can think of. I'm setting us up for some drama here. Design and plan. Did I record as Miss Markey as I should have? No, I didn't. Okay. Miss Markey and Miss Markey. So these were guesses. It'd be amusing if there was a repeat in here. You could just look at it from a a glance, no repeats. So we're not going to indulge that part of the process. We're going to trust ourselves just a little bit here that we're going to be okay. Okay, 8 guesses. I don't need that anymore. I don't need guess numbers anymore. So when this is established, then we go to column T. When I was previewing Squishy, I had 1.05 million hits. Let's see what we actually have now that the game is on. Oh, how about that? SQ is the leading SQ. For long, perhaps, well, it's going to take a while to be the leading S because Spiral was our last mystery. It's still at 1.05 million. Okay. Whoop. That's all very quite interesting. That's all quite interesting. Okay, let's get this going again. SQ, Squishy, the 1.05 million. Surely you're going to agree with yourself that it's 1.05 million. Okay. Copy. And where do I want to go from here? 1.05 million is the level of mystery hits. And that goes for all 8 in this round. Did I do 8? Yep, plan lines up. So anyways, the fun here, just the old last game, 10.3 was the sacred number. Maybe I'll go do it here. 10.3 was the sacred number last game because Spiral started the game with 10.3 million hits. But 1.05 is the sacred number this game. It's all quite amusing how that affects the baseball and chess with the previous game. Okay. But in any case, we have our spreadsheet prepared for to do adjusted shares. And in the first round, the adjusted shares are going to be exactly the same as the raw shares. Obviously, because it's going to end up being 1.05 divided by 1.05 times raw shares. So raw shares and adjusted shares are guaranteed to be the same in the opening round, but there will be no guarantee thereafter. I think I'm at a good point to save my work. We note that we have changed the label here from Spiral to Squishy. And there's not much to do but to do it now, right? Okay, word fast is what we start with. Play ball. Fast gets 212 million hits. 212 million. Oh, that's not exactly what I wanted. Custom, general. Let's make this whole thing general. That's probably a function of the spreadsheet posts I arranged. Okay, and 286,000. Yeah, messing with zeros. General, not custom. This stuff is not custom. We're going to get our head screwed on. Wow. You almost had me choking to death. Live audio. Live delayed audio. Now let's do the word impossible. And we get 39.9 million hits. 39.9 million. More trouble with my bearings. 63.8 thousand. Well, so far it looks fine to do raw shares in thousands. And now comes sour. So mark my word. Well, my thinking is that sour is going to go higher than anything else until from this at this point, at this juncture, before we take a look at sweet. 9.67 million. And what do we got here? 21.4 thousand. 21.4 thousand. So actually, it occurs to me that I don't think, yeah, I need to give Microsoft Excel a little bit of a nudge at the beginning. See, these didn't take 1, 2, 3, and I'm right? 1, 2, 3. So sour did not win in overalls. It's not nearly as common a word, which means a lot. When you're otherwise not related, it means quite a lot to be a common word. But it does win in percentage as predicted. Check it out, 2.21. And so then I'm figuring on sweet going even higher, and for sweet and sour to be 1-2 ultimately in percentage. Sweet is bound to be a fairly common word, I think. And on that basis, maybe it'll actually challenge overall. I think I'm looking for it to challenge overall. Definitely take percentage. 117 mil, good number. 100,000 mil, 117 million. 307,000. Very nice. Oh, it's got it easy, doesn't it? Yeah. All right. Sour's poor showing overall might persuade them not to go into food. That's another thing to consider, is that if you have two guesses that are foodie guesses, and only one of them clearly does well, that might be enough information to steer us away from food. But I do think there are some percentage-leaning players, and if they're looking at sweet and sour 1-2, they're going to keep going into food. Even though at this point, sour is last overall. Pay no mind to baseball and chess. I don't know. Inevitable, predictable, squishy. No, those are the ones that really should go to the bottom in overalls. Don't you think? Anyways, enough said. I especially like how Sweet gets more raw shares on almost half the hits that Fast has. It's most comparable in hits. It's so it outclass. That's called outclassing. Call it another glossary term. Inevitable. Inevitable. It is inevitable that a person would guess inevitable when the mystery is foregone conclusion. When the the name of the thread is foregone conclusion. 8.25 million, very sour-ish in terms of its hits level. It's not going to do nearly as well. 13.1 thousand. And how right am I? Yeah, it's only 21 versus the 47. So sour is going to beat a few in overalls. Predictable. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. 4.32 million, the least we've seen in hits yet. 4.32 million. And there's certainly a tendency for hits to be on the high side at the start of the game. 8.8 thousand. You know what though? Predictable. That's actually not bad on percentage. It's not bad, but it does not, at the same time, it does not get between sweet and sour. Yeah, there's predictable. There is squishy as kind of a measure. If something is not solid as a measure, it can be thought to be squishy. So that sense of squishy can hang out in where predictable hangs out. Now, design is at least going to be a big hitter, especially on the internet. $483 million. I was thinking design would not be necessarily that big a hitter in the world at large, but that's an example of crazy talk, isn't it? Where else is it going to be a big hitter but the internet? 660,000. Now, is that such a bully that it can beat these other guys? Let's see now. I'm afraid so. Yeah. Design was enough of a hits bully that it beats Sweet in the overalls. Huh? What are they going to make of that? It does not get to hold. Okay, well, plan's bound to be pretty big too. 242 million. 242 million. it can hang out in the same places that predictable hangs out, and that particular sense. Let's see, we've got 206,000. Oh, that's horrible, right? Tools plan squishy. 206,000. Well, plans are very definite, but maybe as an opposite of plan, an opposite of a solid plan would be a squishy one. Whatever the case, that looks like about as bad as percentages are ever going to get. 206,000, 242 million, 242 million, and 206,000. It's the only one that's below 1. Pay no mind to baseball and chess. In the top half overall for being a bully, but quite bad. I would say at this point that we don't need this. We don't need those. I think we can get by without baseball and chess. We can get by with these confusing figures for guess hits. And these confusing figures for raw shares. These confusers for mystery hits. That business for adjusted shares. And that garbage. I guess we'll hold on to hits rank though, for the time being. And other points beyond. So there's our basic list in the the two main measures, but let's see what we got there. Sweet and sour are in fact 1-2 in percentage, but sweet was beaten by the hits bully design. Ha 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 ha. Design and squishy. That's a squishy design. All right. So now that we've done that, let us. Is there anything else we should do right at this point? Let's group the list by hits rank. That's what that does. The big bully, the bully of bullies design with the most hits. Hits rank. 1 and a 2 and a scroll. Now let's do everybody by shares rank. Bada boom. Yep. So sweet has a +2. A765 match, 3 matches, 1. So we have 1 baddie and 1 goodie. Sweet is a strong goodie at +2. And we have an equal awful in plan, of course. Yeah. At -2. Everybody else is at 0. And what the people are going to think when they see these things ranked, they're going to think they're +1s when they're in fact +2s, or if that's all that we have to go by. So now we can take differentials down. This is a formula that's pre-done. A +2, a -2, and everybody else is at 0. And I guess that from this point, we no longer need hits rank. We no longer need shares rank. We don't need those guys confusing us. And what else don't we need? I guess we don't need that Francis was the original guesser of those. So there's our big 3. We don't deal in any extras at this early stage of the game. We kind of we bring in more complications as a game progresses. Yes, indeed, that's what we do. So now we have all this. Let's just do it like this, I guess. I would like to close this gap. Is one thing I'd like to do. So let's scroll this way, and we're going to want to have everybody ordered by largest G, which is percentages. There they are, sweet and sour, predictable, impossible, inevitable. Ha ha ha! All the bulls, 3 bulls are together. That'll tell them something. But it's not going to tell them that's a bull word, will it? That's bull stuff is, BLE is middle of the road. Design, fast, plan. Design, plan, fast. Sweet and sour definitely gives flavor. Definitely gives flavor. So now let's do traditional, see what that looks like. That's largest D. See how it looks over there. Inevitable, predictable. So yes, the very bottom scrapers, inevitable and predictable. But you know, it is inevitable and predictable. They're the last in hits and they're the last in traditionals. At this point, and maybe forever, traditional is going to have a lot to do. Traditional scores are going to have a lot to do with how many hits the guesses get. Okay. Here's what traditionals look like. And sweet is close to the top. First, second, third. Design, sweet, fast, plan. Impossible, sour, inevitable, predictable. So sour goes way down there. Splits the bulls. The bulls don't look good, of course. Plan, fast, sweet, design. Fast, plan, sweet, design. Do you get squishy from that? I don't know. Let's now do, well, smallest AP is going to be helpful at this point. And then largest AK. That ought to do it. And where are we going to go to AK? We're going to record them in here at AN. And I'm going to, I guess, well, here's how I really do it. You scroll down to 8, but then we see that this massive tie for second. So copy, paste. We're just going to turn all those various numbers into 2s because of the massive tie. Yeah, if you saw that kind of a movement in the first round, I think you'd be on the shock side to find that these were +2s rather than plus 2s and -2s, or absolute values of 2s rather than absolute value of 1. See, I remember a little bit from math days in school. Now here's a good spot to repeat equal K6. I'm going to reinstate guesses, something that I deleted for my when I put up the tables of on my WordPress site, ordering things by traditionals and differentials. I had taken this down. Now it goes back up. And so we're pretty much ready to go to print. One more time, let's order it by, well, actually, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense not to do this, does it? I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to take this in a certain order, even though it kind of represents being inefficient in my work. G largest. We're going to scoop these all up. Copy. And now we have a kind of a maneuver we have to go through. I think I'm going to bring up another book crossing is what I'm going to do. Because I need to pull up a template from a previous game about how scores are determined. This is our big how scores are determined post coming up. That's what we do for the first update of the game. Just in case there's any new people. So there's foregone conclusion. And then number 103 is right in here. And here's where we get the heartening word from Woody and Jules that it was, well, for Woody it was good. For Jules it was great. Because I have a cool American accent. Okay. So we're going to go from here. I guess we're going to go to page 5. That's where it ought to be. And the word basic ought to bring it up. There it is. How basic scores are determined. So here's the template. We're going to copy this whole business. Let's see. That's really all we need to copy. All right. Okay, and now we go to the other book crossing. Yes, this is the one. And it's time for me to reply to the parent thread. I think I'm going to keep the how basic scores are determined down below this time around, below the headline level. How basic scores are determined, because I think I ought to address the two people who heard my voice on YouTube. Crunching the salad. Okay. Here's what it's all about. And I guess this is for you future hosts of the world. You need to bear down on this part. How basic scores are determined. Hits and shares are what it's all about. Hits, as in how many hits does your guest get when deeper webbed inside quotes like this. Guess. Deeper webbed. People, people Google things. Well, people can deeper web things. Shares, as in how many web pages do your guess and my mystery share. Guess mystery. Shares, adjusted for mystery hits, divided by guess hits, guess percentage, which multiplied by shares yields traditional overall score. This is for further clarification of this adjusted mess of business. Please see what? Please see, not squishy. Please see search engine hot and cold. I spelled it out. Basics of how to play. Search engine hot and cold, basics of how to play. Let that be your next link, your next guessing game link, where we go over in some pretty fine detail how the freaking game is played, and in particular, how you adjust your shares. Well, we just went through that. Actually, for the plugin, you saw me plug it in. Well, you know what? For maybe a deeper explanation, or go back here to what I did at the start of the game with regard to mystery hits and adjusted shares and so it got some explanation earlier in this game too. A third measure, differentials, is found by subtracting shares rank from hits rank. Alrighty, and I should have my percentages plugged in. Wouldn't it be amusing if I did not? Percentages, so those were the first rounders of the previous game, and here come the first rounders of the current game. Did I do that right? Looks like it went into a strange place, doesn't it? It certainly does. What the heck happened there? What in the world? Qualified best, differentials, traditionals, qualified best again? Differentials, traditionals, percentages. Oh, something went cuckoo. Copy. Foregone conclusions where we are. I wasn't loaded, that's for sure. Now, there's the previous game. Here comes this one. Yay, that looks right. So now let's order everything by traditionals. It'll be interesting to play it over and find out what the heck I did. And find out why you guys are laughing at me right now. Because you saw it. You could have very likely know what I did wrong already. D. So we're loaded by D now. Column AA is what shows us the ranks. There they are, pre-done, 1 through 8. Okay, copy. And back we go. I'm going to scoop it up in here. There's the, so we're going to replace the previous game with the current one. That looks good. And now we're going to deal with differentials. Sort by, well, I guess I better do the smallest AP again. as a prelim to doing largest AK, largest differential. Okay, there we are. Copy and paste. So after the qualified best business, there's 10 guesses. So that means so all of this got restated. It was very strange. So we can delete that. Let's see where we stand now. Basic scores, blah, blah, blah. Percentages. Oh, hits and shares. What? Again? Okay. So it looks like from here, there's more copying. Oh, nutty. Delete. Hits and shares are what it's all about. Hits and percentages, traditionals, differentials, all down to 8. So now there's this thing called a qualified best. And for that, what we need is largest W. This is ordering things by shares. And let's see what we got there. See, there's the raw shares. They're in descending order. So with that information, you follow along for incremental increases in percentage as you decline in shares. So design is at 1.37. The top in shares is at 1.37. It's an automatic member for being first in shares. Suite is a member for the fact that it beats design in shares despite, it beats design in percentage despite losing in shares. And nobody else is a member because nobody else goes higher than 2.62. You're always looking for incremental increases in percentage as we decline in shares. So design is a member, suite is a member, and that is the end of the members. Design and suite. So over here, once more, a qualified best is a guess, or for the first time, isn't it? A qualified best is a guess that beats all others in either percentage or shares, ordered by most shares. And I think that statement is like 99.9% true. It could be a truer statement, an even truer statement, if we paid some mind to ties. So design is a qualified best for being the shares champ. The big bully hits champ is also the shares champ. And then suite for actually having some decent relatedness is also qualified best. Okay, and this, we're only at 8 guesses. This has been an 8 guess round. As opposed to the 10 that we started the previous time with. And it looks like I'm pretty much ready. Pretty much, not absolutely, but pretty much ready. Design sweet, sweet sour, sweet fast. You know what? if sweet is, yeah, okay, well, sweet is first in percentages, the clear first in percentages is percentage. Plan is a clear last in percentage. And what that means is that I can actually lump percentages and differentials. Maybe I don't want to, though, for the sake of the first round. Let me see. Is it bad form to do that in the first round? Design. Percentages and differentials. Shows how many webs you did. Let's show the sure. I heard it. You know what? I'm going to allow myself to combine them. Percentages and differentials is going to be first and first. It's true, right? Sweet and plan. Sweet and plan. And then all these others are seconds. Second and second. Third and second. Fourth and second. Fifth and second. Sixth and second. Seventh and second. Eighth and eighth. I've never had something quite like this before. But it means that we don't have to list differentials separately. Traditionals. Eight deep, and there's agreement. That suggests a different structure. We never had a batch last game, pretty sure, that had agreement 8 out of 8 in 2 of the big 3. Or that could be construed to be in agreement with such a massive tie here, a 6-way tie for second. 1, 2, 3. The percentages were differently distinct from each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The differentials not so much, but there's agreement at the crests. First, second, third, fourth, seventh, and eighth. Design, sweet, fast plan, impossible, sour, inevitable, predictable. Qualified best is a guess that beats all others in either percentage or shares. Ordered by most shares. Design and sweet. Design, the trad champ, which is only 6th and 2nd, and looking at it other ways. But sweet, that gets your attention. Sweet is just one off of traditionals and unanimous choice in percentages and differentials. No doubt about it, choice. Sour looks pretty good. But then what's it doing in 6th? Qualified best, I guess, beats all others in either percentage share or by most shares. Okay, folks, I need to come up with my real headline if I'm going to okay. Thanks for not recoiling in horror. I don't know if that's a matter to thank a person though over. They can't control it. Um, yeah, maybe three people have already recoiled in horror, and I just haven't determined it yet. Um, mm, For inclusion, um, oh, mm. I don't know if it's common knowledge that I'm on YouTube. It doesn't have to be common knowledge to everybody. Jules knows. You would think so that Greyflink does. He's usually up on this stuff. Francis didn't make any comment of any kind. Francis may not know. Miss Markey didn't say anything different than she usually says. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay. You know what? If they don't, I don't think I want to lead anybody to it if they don't already know. So what's he talking about? You know what? I think I do want it here. And I'll just address it in the thread it belongs in. All right, good enough. I get a little bit anal about perhaps losing my work. That's what this little maneuver is about. And it's one round in the books. Save completed successfully. How big scores are determined. Nobody snuck in, I hope. That would seem to be possible, but no one snuck in. How do you make a square like that? That's what I want to know. I've seen that a couple times from Miss Markey. I don't know how to make that little square. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Francis is gonna have to work harder. We all know that. Yeah, nothing more to say there. Could read the story. Okay. Well, you know what? My work is not completely done because, wait a second, where are we now? What? What? What if we went here? Is that the same thing? For different perspective? Am I getting my things confused here? What's this one about? How basic scores are determined. What's this one about? The same thing? 1 month ago. Okay, yeah. That's exactly as it's supposed to be. Let's not freak ourselves out too much. Yeah, okay, we don't have to deal with that yet. I do not want this one. So, how basic scores are determined, or maybe maybe after all that I actually do. Maybe I actually do want it. Or I want to go back to the previous game. Fun and games. Back to 103. Uh, oh boy. So I want to go here. I think I want to do this. Copy this. Copy that. Reply to this. This is confusing me. This is confusing me greatly. Copy. Paste. I think I want it in reverse though. Cut. I think this is proper. Wasn't that a little American accent? However, Cat, would I still be alive? Yes, good to hear your voice, O.W. So the way to enliven these things are you go like here, here, doubles. which means you don't really need this one, right? Just glad you're not recoiling in horror. And of course, this is going to make the 103 thread land slightly ahead of the 104 thread, so that others will be more likely to see it, and it'll give others more of an opportunity to recoil in horror, but it'll also give them more of a chance at awareness that I did this awful thing in the first place, and they ought to be aware. They ought to have a good chance of that. So, to make their best judgment, recoil in horror, if that's how it's meant to be. Whatever you do, don't click that last link. Alrighty. We finally give it a rest. And say, well, this has been an exciting opening night for the squishy mystery for Foregone Conclusion Guessing Game 104. And they're right next to each other now. Is that all you got? Guessing Game 103. Foregone Conclusion Guessing Game 104. They should figure it out. It's a little strange to have 103 on the top. Hopefully the new guessers will look deeper to find out that a new game is in fact going on. We'll look lower. Nothing has happened in the last 8 minutes. I don't know. I kind of want to just take it from the top. See, is the top truly the top? Foregone Conclusion, Guessing Game 104. Part of speech, apparently more than just adjective. Biddly-dee, bottle-a-boo, biddy-biddy-ba. Good luck, everyone. Let's have some fun. Great Flink story. I should look to find out if he puts the word squishy in his story at some point, because he did insert the word spiral in one of his excerpts last game. It would seem to be a pretty unlikely thing. And I don't see any write-off. I was actually looking for it. So Francis is all business. Not a word. 2 guesses. All business. She's going for it. None of this frivolity. She's going for the solve. Good luck, everyone, in that strange box. I don't know what that's about. Design and sweet. Oh, goodness. Design and sweet. It must be squishy. Yeah. Design and sweet are qualified bests. It's got to be squishy. There's the traditionals. The qualified bests agree with the traditionals. The traditional one, too. I also have some acapella humming on YouTube. If you like to do that, I think what did I call it? Acapella instrumental, something like that. Yeah, okay. Round one in the books. And speaking of books, I'm the author of that one. This has been the MonstrousWalker Show. Monstrous as in um, the autobiography, such like. And Walker as in Tommy Walker. So I'm clearly an author. I'm also an inventor of the above game. I'm also, maybe in more general sense, a game inventor because I've also developed a simulation and am halfway. I'm fairly fluent in baseball statistics, not so much in sabermetrics, in particular, but I'm a sabermetrician of a stripe. I've got a lot of good first questions, like Bill James had once upon a time, looking at the game in another way. So I want to comment on that. Comment on anything. Um, Subscribing would be cool. And till next time. Till next time.